I want to do like a retro style video from like when I first joined YouTube back in 2015. I just want to make a video where I'm just speaking from the heart, and we'll just take it from here.
Text me if you miss me, can't forget me, I promise you won't. Tap me, come and get me, if you let me, I promise I will. Take you where you wanna go, just promise you will. Take the stars out the sky for me, and make them all align for me.
All right, so this is my first video, I think, on the internet, like in 2024. I'm not expecting there to be many more videos, but it is 9:12 p.m., so I had a long day. It's Sunday, June 2nd. My birthday is in 24 days. I will officially be leaving my 20s, and I'll be stepping into my 30s, so that's obviously something very exciting. So obviously I'm in this very reflective sort of state, you know. I have not been online at all pretty much in all of 2024. I got off of all of social media at the end of 2023, and at the end of January 2024, that's when I had gotten off Twitter. So Twitter was like the last piece or the last connection to social media that I had, and I went ahead and I deleted that in January. So ever since then, I've just been living. I've been living life. I've been out in the world, you know, interacting with people, not online. There's nothing to consume online. I'm out in the world living. So it's been a fun experience. I feel like I've grown up a lot. I feel like I am continuing to grow, and my spiritual path feels way more like tangible. It's less like it's like less make-believe and more like tangible, more real and everything like that. So my purpose, my reason for making a video today is because, again, like I said, I'm going to be leaving my 20s. So I'm reflecting on things that happened in my 20s, large events, big things that, you know, helped shape me into the woman that I am now. And I have been thinking a lot about just like my twin flame experience, because I know I shared my twin flame like testimony, but that was like 2 years ago, right? Like that was 2 years ago. That was when things were, for the most part, still kind of fresh with me and that person. And I don't even know if I had like really processed like all of my emotions, or I don't know. I don't know. Obviously that was just 2 years ago, and I'm 2 years older now. So things have changed. So, okay. So I had to go get my glasses because like I could not see. I just felt really lost. So I've been processing like this twin flame thing, right? Because I feel as though that was one of the more major things that happened in my 20s, you know, in addition to, you know, having a baby, you know, graduating college, you know, some milestones occurred in my 20s. So I'm reflective, I'm introspective, I'm thinking back on certain things. And as I step into my 30s, like there's certain things like I don't want to take with me. Like my house, like my whole apartment right now is just in shambles because there's like, I just don't want to bring things like from my past with me into like this new leg of my life, right? Like to this new decade of my life. It's a new era sort of thing. So my apartment is getting gutted right now. There's a whole bunch of shit all over the place. It's dirty. It's unorganized. I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess. Because we're clearing house to make way for some new stuff. I love that. Anyways, so I'm processing my twin flame experiencing now that I'm grown. I feel like I've grown up a lot, just especially like in the past few months, but definitely like in the time since I met this character. And let's just get this straight. Like my twin flame is a character in my life, right? Like I live a life that is a spiritual life. I am the goddess of my life. I control. Obviously if I'm manifesting and I have like my life, like I'm the main character. I know that it's like popular on TikTok and like YouTube to talk about like main character energy. You know, I feel like that's an ideology that, you know, I've been living since forever. I've always been a goddess, but before I feel like I was like a goddess like in my mind and in essence, but now I'm like a goddess in the 3D life. So the initiation is complete. Transitioning from womanhood to like goddesshood, you know, the transition is complete. Psychic abilities are on poom pow. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but my life is my life, so I'm gonna, you know, account and talk about my life. So anyway, now that I'm grown, right? Now that I have like matured and now I'm not like all up in my feelings and thinking about like this stranger in an immature way, I'm more so thinking of it in like a realistic, like I can digest this sort of, I don't know. So I want to speak on that now. I want to speak on that now because it's 2 years later. It's like I was sitting at this computer, right? Like I was making this video 2 years ago and I was recounting my story of my twin flame experience. And, you know, obviously since then I've moved past, I don't talk to him. I don't interact like with my twin character at all, you know, but that's the character he plays in my life. It's just, I want to know, like certain things have been happening recently, like lately in my life. And I feel as though either it's back to the beginning, you know, like full figure 8, like this is the symbolism, this is the same as the synchronicities. The synchronicities I first experienced when I was meeting him and stuff like that. So I didn't, in that storytelling, I didn't really get deep into the details of like the spirituality of it all because I wasn't really confident in my own spirituality, you know, at that time. I wasn't really, yeah, I don't know. I'm growing up. It's okay. It's okay. We can all be young. We can all mature and grow up. We are here on earth. We start as children, right? We are babes. And then we choose to grow into men and women if we choose to. And then from growing to men and women, we can even grow into gods and goddesses, you know, sort of thing. So it's up to us. We have the choice ultimately. But what I want to speak on, and now it's 21:21, so 9:21 p.m. I just want to talk about this, and I wrote it all down, so I should be able to get this pretty quickly. I want to talk about what really happened, like from the time that like this twin flame character like rejected me all the way up until now. I already told the story about like what happened between us, right? Which is, you know, it's great. If you want to watch that story, the story's on YouTube, like it's public. So go watch it if you want to. If you have 4 hours to spare, go ahead, go do that. But I think I'm just taking it from a different angle now, just because I'm older and more mature. I just think that I'm able to process it in a more heightened way. So as I'm speaking, I want to speak very candidly. I want to be brutally honest and share my experience, like what happened behind the scenes, why my confidence had to be just destroyed completely, because it wasn't rooted in anything substantial, really. I mean, it just wasn't. So yeah, I mean, let me just go ahead and speak. I already took notes on it, so let's go ahead and get through it. I want to start at the rejection. The rejection was very grave. I will say that. Experiencing the rejection from this person who I call my twin, that was the worst rejection I have ever had in my life. I mean, in my life, it felt like when he rejected me, it felt like I was being rejected by God. That's the magnitude, of the rejection. That's what it felt like. It did not feel like I was being rejected by some regular human boy. It felt like a true divine entity was rejecting me, and that destroyed me. What can I say? I was already, what did I say in my twin flame video? I was at the depth of my depression when I met my twin. Nah. I was not at the depth of my depression. Meeting my twin, that knocked me down. That knocked me down into the depths of my depression. That's when the damage, that's when the self-harm really started. So, okay, so the rejection, what it felt like, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. When I had met him, can I not call him my twin anymore? The boy's name is Daniel. His name's Daniel. Oh my God. What are we doing? His name is Daniel. I'm calling him by his name. Okay, when I met Daniel, I still was out of my relationship. I ended my relationship in June of 2019, and I met Daniel in June of 2020. And I know for a fact, I know how I am. I just know how I am, how I've always been when it comes to relationships. I was not over that relationship. That relationship was extremely traumatic. It was my first real relationship, and I went into that relationship for reasons that were so basic. They were just so basic and surface level. I went into that relationship because it was a relationship. So it was a practical relationship and a convenient relationship, a practical, convenient relationship. And I feel as though most relationships on planet Earth are that way. So that's why I got into that relationship. However, over time, obviously, after being with him for 2 years, that just, by the time we got to the end, it was just really, the environment was not conducive for life. I'm just gonna say the environment was not conducive for living. Oh my God, I cannot believe I went through all of that. So anyway, clearly severely traumatized from that relationship. And then also going from that relationship to living with my mom, and the everything that happened with my mom, like kind of just experiencing her when I needed guidance. As a new mom, I needed guidance, and I just straight up didn't get it. I'm not trying to criticize anybody. I'm not criticizing anybody for anything. Everything that happened in my life happened the way it was supposed to. So I'm not going to sit up here and criticize anybody about it. It is what it is. And so I did not have that guidance. And so I really was left to figure everything out on my own. And I already said in my twin flame video, like, that's why I left San Diego. Like, I'm on my own. I have shit to do, and I got to figure it out. It is what it is. Florida was open during COVID. California was not open during COVID. I did not like feeling trapped. I got the fuck up out of San Diego. So here I am in Florida still 4 years later. And my reasons for moving to Florida, I was depressed. There is just no other word for it. I was depressed. I was not suitable for harmonious relationships, even friendships. I was not a vessel for that. I knew that. I was aware of that, at least, And so when I met my twin, automatically, knowing that about myself, automatically there was a guard against this person. You know what I mean? Because I knew the level of attraction I had for him. I mean, I've been attracted to people before, so I know like what it feels like if you like get close and then you have to break away. Like, I know I have enough experience to know, to predict that future sort of thing. And so I already had a guard up. So I think a lot of our interactions, it was me. It's not like I was in my true self. I was not open. I was not open, so I could not be my true self. So I was really guarded from the beginning to begin with. So when he rejected me, it still felt like I wasn't rejected for real. Like, it felt like I got rejected for why. I guess that's why. That's what happened. I was just really confused. I was really questioning, why am I the one getting rejected again, right? Because I have this history. Of me wanting like these deeper relationships, these higher level relationships, and 100% of the people of my past cannot live up to it. They just, because not they can't live up to it, they choose not to live up to it, because it's a choice you have to make every day. And I make the choice to live up to the high, and I'm not changing my mind about that. I've made my choice. I need a partner who's on the same page as me. So I guess in this case, I just felt like, I had peeped certain things within him. That's why I said he had the qualities that I look for in a partner. Yeah, he had the qualities it is what it is. I don't know. I'm on the lookout, I guess, for my partner. I don't know. I'm aware that I have qualities that I like, qualities that are similar to me. I'm ambitious. I am focused. I am diligent. I am hardworking. That's me. So when I see that in somebody, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna peep that. I'm gonna notice it. I'm gonna be attracted to it. So I noticed that in him, and I felt like he didn't really get to see me. He didn't try really to get to see me, know me, anything. So when he rejected me, it was just based on, I don't know what it could have possibly been based on. I just don't know. So, but what was it really like? So on the surface level, when I first met him, I had just really started putting on makeup and really leveling up, so to speak. And I was in my femme fatale energy, and I'm just I'm breaking niggas' necks. I'm snatching their wallets, and no love here. I don't believe in love. And, but I still felt like I was putting a lot of energy into my exterior, right? I had just started putting on makeup, and my hair was straightened and stuff at the time. I wasn't even really wearing wigs, because I had just first gotten to Florida, and it was too hot for all that. So I had my natural hair out. It was just straightened and all that. So I just felt really even when I look at pictures from like 2020, I'm just like, I just felt like I was really pretty. So I still got rejected. So if I still got rejected, then obviously beauty is not important then. Right? Like, you have to understand the frustration. I guess I decided that beauty doesn't mean much. And when he rejected my beauty, right? I did too. I mean, I did too. I don't know why, but I don't know why of all the people that I've met on planet Earth and like up until 2024, up until now, this person, I don't know why this person is the only one that like made me look at myself. I don't know why. I don't know why he's the only one that made me be like, wait, pause. Like, don't, like, hold on a second. Like, tiptoe. You know what I mean? Like, just take it easy. Take it slow. I don't know why. I don't know why that was inspired in me when I met him. I don't know. To this day, I don't know. But that's what happened. So I don't know why his opinion mattered so much to me. I really just do not know. He had said, when we were talking that night, he had said something like, oh, he's like, I could stare at you all day or something like that. And I remember when he said it, it felt true, but I said, oh, he's just running game. You know what I mean? Like, it felt true when he said it, but I told myself, oh, he's just running game. He's just macking right now. So, you know, whatever. I'm so used to men doing that. Like, how obviously. So, when he rejected my beauty, I also rejected my beauty. And from then I just straight up just let myself go. Like, I didn't know anybody in Florida, right? I mean, I was completely alone. And I guess I was in the beginning when I first got to Florida, I really was latching on to anyone. I was. That's not healthy, but the conditions, I realized I was depressed. I realized I was alone. I realized I was still codependent. I realized I was working through stuff. I realized shit. So I have grown. Is what I'm trying to say. I rejected my own beauty. So the whole thing happened, what the rejection felt like and what spurred that really, really deep depression, the dark night of the soul, the obsession, the crying over this boy and just wondering, like, why did he have to just deny me? Just really over the top. It was a really bad time. Like, it was bad. It was terrible. It was terrible because I just was so lost in the sauce. I mean, the substance abuse. I haven't made a video about this. One day I will. I will talk about the substance abuse and what I did to my body in the period of time after he rejected me and how he rejected me, so I rejected myself. And I mean, I went hard. I straight up abused myself. There's no other word for it. Self-abuse. It was not self-love. It certainly was not self-love. So it was self-abuse inflicted by me on me. So I have to own up to that. That's just what happened. I was in the time after, let me look this up real quick because 1.75, my dad, you know, I love the man. He has always drank alcohol. And when I was in college, he started drinking Jack Daniels. And the 1.75 liter, let me see, Black number 7, I think is what it's called. Jack Daniels Black. Which one's the 1.75 liters? Okay, so the big ass 1.75 liter of Jack Daniels, I was finishing one of those in 4 days. Like, in 4 days time, because I was alone. I was by myself. I was finishing a handle of Jack Daniels, the 1.75 liter by myself in 4 days. It was the most terrible time of my life. I mean, there has never been a darker time in my life than my 27th year on earth. Seriously. It was terrible. I will make a video about the self-abuse and the substance abuse, you know, another time. That's just going to be another time. Today we're just talking about, you know, growing up and stuff. So you've already seen the story and you know how like I went through like my depression and stuff like that. But towards the end, or in 2022, I went home. I went home for the first time in 2 years, and that was a moment. Like, that was an important moment in my life. I needed to be with people that I love. Like, being around people that I love after 2 years of being completely on my own, I needed that. I really needed that. So it was great to go back home and be back home. But my health when I went back home in 2022, that was when I first started seeing signs of poor health. Yeah, like my body was telling me your lifestyle is not sustainable. Like my body was telling me, girl, no, girl, no, girl, no. So when I went home, that's when it happened. I remember, everything has to happen for a reason. So I was, put onto the fact that I was having issues with my health. And so that was when I first started, looking at myself in a deeper way. Stop looking at myself from such a surface level and like, oh, I don't have to take care of my body anymore because no one cares about me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm never beautiful to anybody. No one chooses me. I just get left and abandoned no matter what I do. No matter what I do, I'm getting left. It just is what it is, because people make choices, and people just are not in line with what I want. I want what I want, and people just don't want the same thing. So I just started looking at things from a deeper level, and that's when I really started getting like hip to like my health. So in 2022 in summer, when I got back from California, I guess I was feeling good about myself. I don't know. I was really starting to just now start to maybe climb out of the depression I was in. You know what I mean? Like if I'm at like the bottom of the pits, I'm just now, like climbing up the wall. I'm getting out. I'm getting out of the depression slowly but surely. It is happening. It is grueling. It is not a pretty sight. I am still drinking heavily in 2022 up until really earlier this year, honestly. I'm on the substance abuse thing. I'm smoking a lot now because I just came from California, so I'm just like, what have I been doing? Like, why am I drinking? I could be pulling it up, sort of thing. So I'm smoking. Well, now I'm smoking and drinking. Substance abuse video is coming. Now I'm smoking and drinking. So eventually, in 2022, after I come home from California, I get like on the dating apps and I meet this person. Oh my God. As soon as I saw him like on the dating app, I'm like, oh, that's a match. I literally knew. I saw him and I'm like, oh, that's a match. I just know it is. We started talking pretty soon after that, and like we hit it off. I mean, we got along easily. We got along right away. There was no question about it. Like, this was like my friend. As soon as I met him, I'm like, oh yeah, I could kick it with this one. Like, this is my friend. And he was a straight up demon. There's not even another description for it. A straight up demon from hell, okay? When I said this is a match, it was a match made in hell. Yes, it was. So, I mean, when I factor in like the astrology and like the intensity of like the passion and stuff like that, it was really similar. Being with him was really similar like to the feeling of being with Daniel, but it just was not the same. It felt really similar. Like, it was so intense that for a while I forgot about Daniel. For a while I was not thinking about Daniel, okay? For a while it was all about this demon, okay? For a while. And when he walked into my life, it was literally like he was a handsome devil. That's how he was presented to me. He had the look that I like. And looking back, like, he looked like a bad boy. He was a bad boy. What the? Anyway, he had the look that I like, and so he had my attention, okay? His eyes, I knew when I looked into his eyes, he was a demon. His eyes are like two black holes, just endless, just empty. No soul whatsoever. So my intuition told me that this is a demonic person. But substance abuse, maybe? Like, I was not in the right state of mind, obviously. I literally did not have a good head on my shoulders. I was probably drunk. I was drunk when I met him the first time. The first time I met him, I was drunk. Wow. Oh, God. The timing of when he entered my life, this was when I had just started, like, clearing up my stuff and getting like hip to the fact that I have like some health issues. So his timing, when the way he came in, the timing, it was so divine, right? Like it was so, it's like in order for me to like trick myself, in order for me to trick myself, he had to come in at that time. Because I was in the in-between, you know what I mean? I wasn't really living in my highest light. I was living in my lowest light, but trying to get to the highest light. And so it's like this person was sent in to show me, like, what are you gonna do? What are you really gonna do, Zena? Like, for real, what are you really gonna do? And this demonic person is literally like the physical manifestation of my dark side. So I can't even really clown him that much. I can't really talk that much mess because every evil thing that he did, it's in me. Every single evil thing he did, I'm capable of. I have the capacity. So I hate him. I definitely hate him. Oh my God. I never want to see him again. I hope to God we never cross paths again. I literally never want to see him again in my life. But I can see how I feel like he was sent in to show me the results of the dark path. That's what I think. Because I was, looking at him and how he lives his life and the consequences of his actions, the way he's so removed from the people around him, the way he's so focused and centered on himself that he can't even perceive that he might have an impact on people and that people might respond to him in a certain way because of how he is and who he is. So what happened? I dealt with him for about 2 years too. Not 2 years, but almost. I mean, a year and 10 months. A year and 9 months or something, close to 2 years. And even during all that time, like I knew I couldn't move forward with him. My soul was telling me I can't move forward with him. Like, obviously I can't move forward with him because I'm not comfortable. I'm not safe. I mean, this is somebody who was genuinely out to get me. This is somebody who hated me. And I could not see. He hated me and I could not see it because I didn't even love myself enough. If I loved myself more, and that's the major lesson I think I got from dealing with him, is just that, like, if I loved myself more and if I trusted my intuition, I would have never even let that demon in my life. Would have never let that demon in my home, ever. And that's on me. And that is on me. That is on me. Because I would have had the eyes to see. I had the eyes to see. That's the thing, is that I had the eyes to see. I saw from the very beginning and I ignored it. I ignored it. So I'm getting somewhere with this story, I promise. I promise I'm getting somewhere. I feel like he was the manifestation of my dark side, and he was sent to show me what the dark path can do. It's not a promising path. He does not have people who are close to him. He does not have people who trust him and depend on him, because he's not a trustworthy person. And that's the dark path. Like, that's not a path I'm interested in. He set an example of what it looks like to just be treacherous, right? He set the example, like, this is what a treacherous person moves like in life, and this is what a treacherous person gets in life. And there's no prosperity on that path, and I'm a goddess of abundance. I like prosperity. So I felt like I loved him, but in our last conversation I realized I do not love him, and this is where it gets really messy. I have to like unpack my own thoughts, and I really have to look at myself, because I have this brain, right? And I'm a human too. I'm living a human experience, but I have to like really think about some of this stuff. So the whole time I was dealing with this like demonic man, I was using Daniel, like, as my safe space, you know? Like, I would fantasize, right? Because we hugged that one time. And all I have is the memory, right? All I have is the memory of how I felt when we were together. And I just remember feeling safe. I just remember feeling safe when he was there. So I guess my mind and my fantasies would go there, like, throughout my whole time dealing with this demonic man. Like, I could never really go forward with the demonic man. My heart wasn't really in it. Because I knew, on some level, I knew I could not put my heart in it. I knew I couldn't. He was evil, and he brought out my evil side, for sure. Like, oh my God. I didn't even know how much darkness, oh God, the darkness. I can't say I can admit that I am not a saint. I'm half angel, half demon. It goes either way. I choose though. I choose the light. I made a choice to choose the light path, and I have to choose that choice multiple times in a day, right? Like it's evil's all around us. So I like prosperity, and maybe it takes longer to get prosperity, but maybe that prosperity lasts longer too. Maybe it takes longer to get to those high heights when you choose the honest path, but maybe you stay up at those high heights longer because no one's trying to fucking get you down because no one's so fucking mad at you. I don't know. I don't know. So I could never move forward with him, and I just remembered, like, Daniel, I remember how I felt like with him, and I'm just like, okay, like, that's my safe space sort of thing. And it just really, after dealing with, you know, this demonic person, I'm like, well, there's pieces, like, it made me think about, you know, Daniel again. It's just like, well, Daniel didn't let me get to know him. Like, he purposely didn't want me to get to know him. It's kind of similar to this demonic person. Like, did he really want me to get to know him? Really? No, there was a lot of things that remained hidden. There were a lot of things that didn't get discussed. There were a lot of things that were shh. There were things that were like, oh no, I had to block you because you might see something. Like, there was a lot of that going on. And I guess it just helped me see a side of Daniel that I never saw before because I was so blinded or something. I don't know. I don't know what was happening, but it just helped me see that. I'm like, wait, he has demons too. This boy be acting demonically too. I mean, he does too, is what I'm saying. Like, all humans do, right? So it just helped me see, like, a different side of him, and I'm just like, it just made my twin more humane. I no longer have him on, like, this, I no longer fantasize, right? That, like, one day we'll be, like, in this healthy, like, committed relationship. I mean, that was what the fantasies were, right? Like, we would be friends and we would get close, and then we would, I dropped all of that. He proved to me a long time ago he's not that type of person, so I don't build fantasies that can't be brought down to reality. Like, that, it's kind of a waste of time. So I don't know, it just helped me see another side of him. And now I'm sitting here like, the main story or the main lesson in dealing with both of these characters, with this demonic man and this twin flame, because these are characters, right? In my story, in my life story, I'm a goddess, Xena la Diosa is walking her path, and she comes across characters in her labyrinth, right? And she's gonna come across people, characters, things, like entities. And I think what I've learned from both of them is because, like, they both abandoned me, right? Like, they both left me alone to deal with our shit by myself. They both did it. I mean, technically, like, 100% of the people before them also did it, but it just really hit really hard with these two people. And so I guess my lesson, or as I'm growing up now, it's just that, like, I was so mad at both of them. At one point, I was so mad at them for, like, leaving me alone. Like, why won't you just come talk to me? Why won't you just get to the bottom of things with me? But now I'm glad. I'm glad they left me alone. When I asked the demon for help and he didn't come, I learned to help myself. Or I learned to call a trusted friend. I learned to call on a family member. And I got the shit done. You know, when I wanted to have a talk with Daniel, when I just wanted answers, he didn't give me answers. I got my answers from the divine. I had to learn some shit on my own. So I guess the main story or the main premise and the main thing that this taught me was that, like, intuition. My intuition is my compass. My intuition was what told me that Daniel is something special to me. I can only say that. Daniel is something special to me. I can't say literally anything more than that. I can't. I gave him, I mean, he can keep the label, you know, twin flame, great, you know. There's reasons why he fits that label because, like, I mean, our birthdays are 3 days apart. Like, why did he wait 6 years to come to Earth? Like, what was he doing? Like, get the fuck up, come on, you're moving too slow. What am I don't know. I don't know why I said that, but okay. I feel like I'm glad that I was able to see, like, my intuition has been put, like, on display. My intuition is, like, the truth. And I think in the past, not even I think, in the past, I would have my intuitive nudges, and then I wouldn't believe my intuition until I saw physical evidence. And I don't live like that anymore. The danger of waiting for the physical evidence, it's too grave. It's too grave. I'm not doing it anymore. Once I get that intuitive nudge, I believe it, I trust it, I move on it. That's just what it is from now on. And that's part of growing up. I spent so many years in my 20s just ignoring my intuition. Ignoring my intuition because what? Control? Like, I don't know why would I do that? I don't know why I would ignore my own intuition for who and for why. I just think that the story or the lesson in all of this, I still don't know about, like, the twin flame journey thing. That, to me, I'm just not somebody who's interested in codependency. I worked really hard to build the life that I have. I mean, I have sweated, you know, like, it's been my blood, my sweat, my tears building this life. And I'm not doing all of this to end up with somebody. That's no, my life, I have a daughter, right? Like, most of what I do is for her and then for me, right? It's for me and her. I think that the twin experience, I'm glad that I met him because the impact that it had on my personal life and my growth and my psychic abilities and my spiritual gifts, it's all blessings, right? Like, it's all blessings. It was rough, right? Those years are in the past now, though, right? Like, Daniel's out there, you know, I know he's out there making his money, you know, running his business, doing his thing, you know, no one's clowning him. He moved dishonorably with me. It is what it is. He moved dishonorably. He did not rectify, or what's the word I'm looking for? He moved dishonorably and then left the situation alone. And that's not right. It's not right to move like that. It just isn't. I mean, it's just not. It's just not right. So I think that, I mean, there's really nothing else to say. It's something that happened 4 years ago almost. And what do I think about it now? What do I think about it now? My intuition, you know, what do I think about it now? I'm gonna be for real. What I think now, that I had this nudge that he was my twin. I had an intuitive nudge, right? In the beginning, in 2020, in 2021. That was when I was like, what if he's my twin? What if he's a I don't question that anymore. He is that. But the reason why the rejection hurt so bad and why I ended up rejecting myself, and this, it's just really sad when you get down to it, because it's like, come on, girl, you could have just loved yourself. But the problem was that I had the nudge, I had the intuitive nudge that this is someone special, but my doubts, my lack of self-love, my lack of confidence, I told myself that there's no possible way that this person could even be attracted to me. I told myself that. I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that he liked me. And I don't know why I could not believe that at that time. Like, obviously he did. Like, obviously. But I couldn't believe it. So, when he rejected me, it confirmed that. Yeah, it confirmed that for me. Interesting. I love therapy. So anyway, I couldn't believe all that, and I didn't want to believe that he's my twin. Now, in 2024, what's today's date? I said it was June 2nd. I want to talk about what's going on today. What do I think about my twin now in 2024? What do I think about him? I think he is my twin, right? I think he is my twin flame, but I also think that he's a young man living his life, you know? I think that he's a young man with responsibilities that have nothing to do with me. I mean, that's just what I think. I just like I'm a young lady with responsibilities that have nothing to do with him. So I think he's my twin, but my intuition tells me that he thinks about me every single day. Every single day. That's what my intuition tells me. There's no evidence, right? I have no evidence. I only have the nudge, and that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. I trust that. I don't question that. And it's not that it has to be true because, you know, I think about him all the time. I just think that that's just the case. And if we want to really get down to evidence, well, okay, here's the little story. On May 28th, you know, so 4 days ago, I think, I had a dentist appointment. This is at a new dentist office. I was trying to see if I can like get a new dentist. Like I wanted to change offices, whatever. So I went to this new place. They took my x-rays and stuff like that. And then this new doctor, he referred me to an oral surgeon because we were talking about jaw surgery and stuff like that. So he referred me to an oral surgeon. But of course, the oral surgeon's name is my twin flame's full name, right? First and last, right? Best lemonade. Obviously, when he said you're gonna go see this doctor, I was like, okay. Daniel, if you have something to say to me. Now this part is for Daniel, right? What I'm about to say right now. Daniel, oh my God, my back. Oh, my Lord. Okay, Daniel, if you have something to say to me, you're welcome to say it. Yeah, that's all I can say. If there's something that you want to say to me, you're welcome to say it. I am not going to ignore you like you ignored me. If you feel the need to say something to me, say something to me. I think that now when I think about like the situation, I don't have like those feelings of like doubt and like, I don't know. I'm just much more secure in myself. I taught myself how to be, right? Essentially, because I was left alone. I didn't have anybody. I did not have anybody. So I did figure it out. It showed me what I'm really looking for. I think interacting with both of those people really showed me what it is I desire in a relationship and what I'm willing to do for a relationship and why I have to be with an actual partner who's my match and not somebody who's just cute. Like I learned with both of these people that like looks, the way I get caught up in people's looks, like the way I give people like the benefit of the doubt and let certain shit slide just because they're beautiful to my eyes, I've grown out of that. Demonic behavior is demonic behavior. It's crazy because now I see people and they'll be like beautiful and they'll be beautiful and I'll just say to myself like, I hope their soul matches. I hope their soul matches the body. Because wow, I just learned a lot about myself, about how I take people in, about how I judge people, about how I perceive people. Like, I don't know. I feel like I grew up so much and I was mean. I was a little mean to Daniel. Yeah. But he was mean to me too. Okay. In the end, I did not keep on doing bullshit. In the end, right? In the end, I wanted harmony, right? In the end, I wanted peace. In the end, I wanted to reconcile, right? He was not on board with that. So he chose not that. Okay. So everything got frozen, right? Everything got frozen in time. You know, here I am. I have my opinion about him because of, it goes back to like, I spent all that time thinking like, oh my God, I just want to get to know him. Why won't he just let me get to know him? Like Like, I did not spend all this time getting to know him through how he's treating me. Like, he's showing you who he is. Like, you don't believe him? You're just not gonna believe him? Like, you're just gonna ignore? So, yeah, I don't know why I was, like, tripping so much on, like, getting to know him. Like, I don't know that boy. Like, he did not show me who he is. What was I thinking? I don't really know what I was thinking. But now I just look at it like, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for the demonic experience. I'm grateful for the twin flame experience. I'm grateful that these men left me by myself, because I don't know. I needed to share that because it's part of my clearing, right? It's part of my moving into my 30s, and I'm not going to really be thinking. It's not to say I won't be thinking about my twin flame. The truth is, I have thought about him every single day since I met him. Every single day since I first saw him. There is not a day that goes by where I do not think about him. There's not. I don't know the reason for it, but I don't live off of it. You know what I mean? Like, I know I said I was not going to get married, but again, as I'm growing up and I'm looking at my life, yeah, of course I want to be married. I just don't want to be married the way y'all get married. I don't want my relationship to look anything like what y'all got going on. I know. I don't want that at all. So I obviously want to get married. It's just, I don't want to get married under the rules, regulations, and the norm that exists today, because what exists today is some actual bullshit, and I don't want to be a part of it. But obviously I want to get married. I have a daughter. I do not have a son. I want a son. And, you know, I know what I'm looking for in partnership. I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for an equivalent. And that equivalent is coming. He or she, I don't know what body the person is going to manifest in. I do not know any of that. I know that that person is on their way because I'm ready. That's where I'm at. I am not with the game playing. I'm not with the tomfoolery. I'm not with the I'm gonna lie and pretend like I'm single and available to you, but for real I have a family in the background. Fuck no. I pure connections. I know what I want. I know how I am. I know exactly what I'm bringing. I'm bringing purity. My energy is high fucking priced because it is high fucking quality. And that's why I don't fuck with anybody. And yes, I'm fucking bougie because I have to be. Because you niggas are too reckless. You're too dangerous. You just don't care. You just don't care. So I'm ready for my partner because, again, I'm gonna be 30. I want to have my son. I'm not waiting for one particular person to come back to me. It's just not happening. I am open to my partner. If somebody comes into my life and they are not behaving like my partner, then they're not my partner, and that's just that. I'm not playing these games. I'm not dating anybody, wasting my time. No, I'm not dating. I'm going off of intuition. If my intuition tells me that someone is special, like for example, I can be more open now. Like now when I'm dating, I said I'm not dating. I'm still meeting people, right? Now when I'm meeting people, I can be more open. I don't have like all these like different hidden chambers and secrets and waiting like months for people to figure things out about me. Like I don't do that anymore. Now I can come right out. And so I was, for example, talking to this one man. I met a man recently. And on our first, Zoom call, phone call, whatever, we were just talking. And then I was, like, letting him know. I'm just like, well, you know, like, I'm not, like, religious. Like, my religion, I'm my religion, right? Like, my religion is me. And then he was like, and he was like, okay. He was like, okay, that's no problem. I'll put my faith in you. I'll put my faith deep inside. I'll put my faith deep inside of you. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, I'm paying attention to stuff like that, you know. Adoration, you can call it worship, you can call it devotion. Yeah, that level of commitment that's the time I'm on, okay? I don't understand what y'all do. I don't understand relationships, how they move today. I don't want to understand. I know exactly what I want. I'm not even bringing anything to the table. I'm building something on my own. I'm not bringing anything to anybody's table. I am building a life. I have a life. My partner has a life. When we come together, we are bringing our lives together. There's no table. And that is what I'm in. That is the time I am on. Don't talk to me about bringing goddamn motherfucking shit to an imaginary table. We are not fucking talking about a table. You should be bringing assets. Okay? Do not talk to me about a goddamn table. I will choke you. Oh my God. So, all that to say, this experience, sharing this video was obviously way more relaxing. I just feel like more relaxed. I don't know. I feel like niggas did me dirty. Like it happened in life. They are not the only ones to do me dirty. I said that in previous videos. Like it happens. It just sucks, you know. It sucks. You would like to meet one person, you know? So anyways, that's the end of my video. I just wanted to share my updated experience, my updated feedback, I guess, on my twin flame experience. I am not mad at the boy anymore. I was pretty heated in the beginning. I was like, oh my God, like this nigga left me alone. But he did leave me alone, and I'm better because of it, aren't I? Aren't I better because of it? Can't be mad at him for that. He contributed to my growth. Same with that demonic man. They both contributed to my growth. I can thank them and be on my merry way. Okay? So that is the end of my updated twin flame experience. Signs. Again, I said I was getting intuitive nudges from my twin. I'm getting intuitive nudges. I don't know why I'm in your thoughts so much. Like I said, if there's something that you want to say to me, I am open to hearing you say whatever you have to say. But if you're nervous about saying something to me because of how I might react, you're already in the wrong energy. Like, that's wrong. That's not. I'm willing to listen to you if you come true and pure. I will hear you out. You might be surprised at my reaction if you come true and if you come pure. You might be surprised. But if I sense that egotistical fake ass bullshit, nope. Whatever you're scared of is gonna happen. So I guess I'll leave my video on that. I'm just free now. I'm just free to be myself. I'm not online. This is one little video that I'm going to be uploading, and then I don't hang out. I'm not going to be around. I'm going to go right back to real life. And real life it's beautiful now. It's beautiful now because I'm out here. I'm out here living, experiencing, seeing, interacting, and I'm breathing air. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking to see who's doing what, because I just genuinely just don't give a fuck. My life is more important than it has ever been. And I have to pay attention to it. I have to be present. I'll talk about how I stopped doing drugs, how I no longer do drugs. That's important, right? That's part of the spiritual path. That's pretty significant, leaving drugs alone. So maybe I'll talk about that in my substance abuse video. But yeah, I felt the need, I guess, to make this video on June 2nd, 2024, because my birthday, it's coming up. I mean, she's gonna be 30, okay? Dirty 30. She's gonna be stepping on necks when she comes out, okay? So, that is, yeah, that's pretty much really all I can say in regard to my experience. Again, my twin flame experience, the talk was never had with the twin, so the justice, he's responsible for the justice in this situation. That's on him. He can die without justice if he wants to. Again, it's his choice. At one point I felt like he needs to come back and he's all apologizing to me because he made me cry. No. I'm just off that. He did what he did. He made the choices that were best for him. Same with the demonic person, right? Everybody's out here making choices that are best for them, just like I have to make choices that are best for me. They both taught me to make choices that are best for me. That's what the demonic person and the twin, they both taught me. Put myself first, because that's what these niggas are gonna do. Okay? So that's it. That's the end of that video. Maybe I'll make my substance abuse video before I turn 30. Maybe I won't. I have no clue. But I'm going back to my regular life now. So peace.